Winona. So that's a smaller street getting into a residential neighborhood out here.
You know, we do second guess. My goodness, we sort of have to. Of course, at the whim, absolutely, of this driver. But you notice, in a residential neighborhood, he's making some smaller turns or sharper turns here.
Yeah.
You wonder if that's an indication that he knows where he is, or that he has somewhere to go.
Could be. It could be, but he's definitely slowing down. You know, slowing down. He's doing 50 in a residential. That's still not good. But he's continuing on, getting back out onto a major. You got to wonder if he knows where he is, because it does seem like this is pretty convenient what's going on right there. That, whoops, I was going to say he's going to get blocked in, but he turned down an alleyway here. We see it, and it is wide open, so he's going to be able to pop back out onto another residential. But when he slows down, you see those California Highway Patrol just right up on his bumper, literally sometimes. And if they have that opportunity, they will pit this vehicle.
Well, they're really close now.
They sure are. Under 40 miles an
hour.
hour.
Here they
there
go.
It goes.
Here they go.
There we go. But you got to think, though, there's a lot of civilian vehicles parked along the side of the road right there, and you know that officer, that is their concern. They're not out here to, you know, to Dukes of Hazzard it and just hit vehicles. So they have to really make sure that they are in a safe place to do this. Property also probably something important to them. But right now we're continuing on. I can tell you we're on Lincoln and Winona. So Winona seems to be the street that he keeps coming back to. I say he, we'll just say the suspect. So this might be an area that this person knows, or maybe it's just coincidence.
And you know, Stu, they also have to think about their own liability, the CHP. They know it's an SUV. They know it has a higher center of gravity. They know what speeds they can pit and where they can't. So they're waiting for him to slow down like there.
Well, he went around this other that civilian vehicle. But he's got to know they're close on his tail. He's going around in circles, it looks like, or really traversing the same area. He's picking up speed, though, now.
Definitely. He's back on Glen Oaks. That's another major. So he's definitely starting to pick up some speed out here. And you can see that you just got to think, if there's a red light, if there's a pedestrian, if there's anything in the roadway right now, his reaction time is going to be milliseconds. So we just watch and hope there's nothing gets in this guy's way.
Stu, we going south into Glendale or north?
We're definitely going south into Glendale right now. We're heading basically back towards the IKEA area, but running red lights right there, and moving so quickly down there. We're still on Glen Oaks Boulevard. Looks like we're making a hard turn. Now, the California Highway Patrol might be a little bit farther behind, but that helicopter's still above it and still giving those officers directions where this car is.
Yeah, this really looks more residential now. You could see lawns.
One right turn and a left.
And slowing
a
little bit.
So we're back on San Fernando Boulevard from Scott, basically. So we are in that very densely packed part of Burbank where there's usually a lot of traffic. Thank goodness we're not seeing that much. And again, no Burbank Boulevard on-ramp. There's all this construction, a lot of detours. So folks out here, this is the old way to get back onto the 5 freeway. So a lot of folks out here too, you got to think they might not be familiar with the area, looking for signs, not thinking that there's going to be an SUV going 50, 60 miles an hour in a residential neighborhood.
And
he
he's
just
on
hit something.
the dirt road.
Hit something, yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Well, that's, wow.
You know what?
What is he thinking?
That's the on-ramp that I was talking about. That was the on-ramp that I was talking about that was closed. So,
and there was a huge tanker truck.
Yep. Got at least a couple of the wheels off the ground. Hopefully it did some damage to one of those tires.
And Stu, did the Chippy follow him through that pinch?
Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think
say
so.
No. They are following.
Oh, they made it.
But they're way behind, apparently, way behind. So the helicopter's still above it. Actually, I think there's actually two right now, California Highway Patrol and the Sheriff's Department. So they're both got eyes on it. They're both giving directions. He might be getting a little bit of a gain right now, but I can tell you, we saw him earlier on. California Highway Patrol was in the neighborhood. You saw different cars when he was making turns. I'm sure they're still kind of in the area and definitely making their way back over here. But now we're going to be back on Elliott Drive and Grishmer. So continuing on a little bit slower, But if he jumps out now, it's going to be one of those, the helicopter's going to have to find him. Looks like we're making a northbound turn, a little close there.
Yeah, what he wants to do there.
Back on Glen Oaks. Back on Glen Oaks, northbound.
Well, certainly he's desperate to do a move like that.
Yep.
Especially so close to that truck. I almost thought that was like he was going to be sandwich meat, but I guess.
Well, and he could have startled that 18-wheeler, and that
you don't
that
want
could
that
have
to happen.
Exactly.
One little swerve in the wrong direction,
and that trucker loses his load.
For sure. So, Stu, where do we see our CHP now? Are they back on the trail?
Just keeping an eye on him, right? They are still kind of behind. I'm watching Fulvio nodding his head, saying they're way, way behind right now. This is the first time we got a peek inside the car, crack the window a little bit. Actually looks like there's some Burbank PD right there, but they are not allowed to engage. And you just got to wonder about that officer right there, probably just clinching at this, you just got to think this is a lawbreaker just racing right by you, and you can't engage in that pursuit. Right now, though, it looks like he's almost talking, or maybe on the phone right there. Very dangerous indeed. I'm sure that car has Bluetooth, and he could be doing hands-free.
Certainly he's making some gestures at whatever he's doing.
Well, look, this. The one thing we know, this guy is not calm. I mean, there's a lot of adrenaline pumping through this person's veins. And I'm sure he's angry and agitated. And if he is talking to somebody, there's a good.
There's another close call there.
If he's talking to somebody on the phone, maybe that's a good thing.
They could be telling him.
Yeah, maybe that person can talk him down.
Right.
That's what. Hopefully it is. And
Windows
we've seen it in the past. Yeah, we've seen it in the past. They do some scheming. They'll be calling their friends and try to switch out cars, and we've seen all that in the past. So when he's on the phone, you just got to wonder what he's doing. But right now, I'm wondering why he's going 80 miles an hour on Glen Oaks Boulevard in almost a residential area. Still so dangerous out here, and no law enforcement behind it. Not because they chose to, but because they kind of chased. He lost them for a moment or two. So the general public not aware that there's a pursuit coming, no lights and sirens, nothing to alert them, just a white SUV moving very quickly in the bike lane, passing these cars, probably passing them at 30 miles an hour out here as we continue on Glen Oaks in the Shadow Hills area of Glen. Go ahead.
Now, Stu, you're saying that once he went through that, he was in that little pinch there, that law enforcement, they kind of backed off from there. They did follow him, though, correct?
No, they did follow him. There's no doubt about that. They went a little slower. Now this is a little unusual. Here we go.
Yeah.
It is. It seems like, and he's opened the trunk to drop a bunch of stuff out, which maybe he thinks he's James Bond, and that's going to deter the officers.
Well, look at that. Oh, what was that?
And swerving. Yeah, he's swerving.
He's swerving
he's
to knock it out.
Whatever's in the back there. Yeah, he's trying to knock that stuff out. So definitely this guy's got some scheming going on. That weaving, though, at those high speeds, even with that SUV that has a lot of traction control and a lot of computers helping, you just don't want to see that, especially at high speeds. As that thing starts wobbling, it could get bad really, really quick.
And it's not going to help his
ability to drive. And then what if his vision is in terms of looking out his rear window and it's blocked? Oh, wow, Stu, this is not good at all.
It's interesting that he knew that there was something back there if he had just stolen the car.
And something can fall out on the freeway.
Right. Which is not going to help him at all.
No, but that's endangering another vehicle. Trust me, I know.
You had something fall in front of you?
Pat, you are...
Go ahead.
You are beyond right about that. I mean, actually, I didn't even think about that. If those boxes fall out, like that one that's sliding around right now, some other civilians might just... they might swerve to avoid it. There might be an accident caused by this. So very dangerous. And this guy clearly, doesn't care about anybody else. If somebody else gets in an accident, whatever. And he's desperately trying to get away from law enforcement. You can see that driver there, window back down, and whatever that last box is, it's really starting to hold. It's really holding on. We made a sharp. We're staying on the 5 freeway. Just going a little wider real quick. We are southbound 5, approaching the old Burbank Boulevard off-ramp. So just seeing if the California Highway Patrol nearby are getting close to it again. I do know they are getting direction, and they know where this vehicle is.
Yeah, that's okay. At this point, it wobbled a little bit again there, and the trunk is wide open.
Window looks down because we can see him. Usually those tinted windows.
It looks like we're back
well,
on
he
an
had it
off-ramp
down, and then
again.
he rolled the window back up, and now
He's
got. Did he
flashing
have
his lights.
his lights on?
Just to try to get, he's telling the guy
Yeah,
in
it
front
was-
of him, get out of my
he's-
way.
That's exactly. That's it exactly.
Well, what is he going to do here?
There
He
we
goes
go.
around.
You know, it's interesting. I mean,
Oh, there's that box.
There's one
Thank
of 'em.
goodness no one was right behind it, or it was slow enough where they could stop.
Yep.
now, if he knew how to open that hatchback or that trunk, he can close it, and
Right.
he's choosing not to, which is
Right.
interesting.
Well, the last big, I mean, we can see some other things farther in the vehicle. So the last big box that was hanging on, is definitely fallen out. Just giving you guys information where we are. We made our turn on to Victory Boulevard right now. Amazing to see Victory Boulevard this empty out here in the Burbank area. But it continuing on very,
South?
very fast. We are headed back towards the valley. So yes, westbound. Isn't it westbound?
Well,
westbound.
yeah.
Westbound.
Okay. It parallels the 5 there, and then it kind of takes a dip if he's heading down toward the 134. Oop, another turn.
Yep. Made another turn into a residential area, slowing down a little bit. But I just don't think this guy's going to give up that car. I mean, he's made all these attempts to throw the law enforcement off his tail. The helicopter, I just had him up a moment or two ago. They were talking about what was falling out, and they were making a discussion. Are we going to keep behind him? What are we going to do right now? But I can tell you 2 helicopters, 2 law enforcement, Sheriff's Department, and CHP. There he goes.
There's
big
another
box.
box.
He's making a decision right now. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yep.
Pulling over.
doesn't see
And
any cops
Oh,
behind
what is
him.
he doing, Stu? He looks. Did you see him?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was
Reaching
actually.
across.
I think. Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa! He had a PD car. He had a law enforcement vehicle right there. He was actually in the passenger seat looking
And he's
going to
roll
window.
out right now
There you
while
go.
that car's
There you go.
rolling.
Yep. And he looks like he's going to be right there. But law enforcement
There they
very
are.
close by.
Yeah.
We can
Yep.
keep an eye on him.
He's a better
looks like
driver
we're
than
gonna
he
be
is a
doing some acrobats here.
Oh, he's down. No, he's laying down.
Yep.
Yeah,
As
he's not
he
even going to
should.
try.
What a crazy.
Yeah, they've got
what a
their
crazy
weapons
pursuit.
drawn.
And,
That was.
and that officer just, I mean, right place, wrong place. You guys make that decision. All I can say was enough to bring this thing to an end.
Well, and Stu,
out here, and we are going to be. Go ahead.
You wonder whether that you know when he teed with that officer, whether that was a plan by was it Burbank or CHP that hit him?
So it's California Highway Patrol that was
Huh?
just happened to be in that spot.
Yeah.
And obviously looking for that vehicle. But, he was in the
at this.
passenger seat. He was in the passenger seat just a few
Yeah.
moments before. So he was flailing around in there trying to figure out what he was going to do. That SUV stolen.
Wow.
It's kind of in bad shape right there. But that suspect in custody, and thank goodness nobody
No one was
seriously injured. And that, what a bizarre ending to a really bizarre chase for sure.
It really was.
We had talked about earlier about assault with being the vehicle on a deputy. You just wonder, looking at this last maneuver here, if that wasn't possibly true.
Yeah, it's very possibly true.
Yep.
Yeah, look, these guys aren't known for their decision making. They don't plan anything, and so it's hard to make sense out of what they decide to do.
All right, well, Stu, do they have him in cuffs yet? Can you tell?
They got him in cuffs. The dog is there. They didn't need to use the dog, but definitely there on scene. In cuffs and in custody. This is going to be Monterey and Myers in the Burbank area.
All right.
Well, a lot of excitement in the
And
Burbank area. Let's take another look, show our viewers exactly how this ended. See that vehicle there? He hit that CHP vehicle.
Looks like
Then
this-
he's just going to let it roll, and he's going to jump out the vehicle, try to get away. And the officers are right there, weapons drawn. He didn't get far. And he's going to just lay down on the ground,
yeah.
and they're going to take him into custody. But it was a little collision, if you want to call it that, with the CHP
I
vehicle
think that
actually
CHP
stopped
clipped
him.
him. I think he tried to clip him on the back because that's where the damage is on that back bumper.
And folks, we still don't know what this was about. There was there were a lot of boxes and items in the trunk of that car, and he just opened the trunk, and things just started falling out, and it almost looked as if he was throwing things out of the
Yeah, he's
out of the
trying
car.
to. All right,
Yep,
everybody,
definitely.
it's all code 4, as they say, and we're going to go ahead and move on. Stu, thanks so much, and thank you to the California Highway Patrol. Music fans, Boy, music fans are devastated.